How do I get the... Oh, so that hasn't shown up yet. There we go. Okay, so I actually want to hide that. Okay, that didn't... It did. Oh no. Why? Okay, that's fine. So this is broken, maybe? Because it's hidden? Well, that's balls. Can I... Does it still work if it's off screen? Okay. Can't even see my own face up there. Full screen. Wow, that's really bad quality. 1080. Oh, okay, it's better now. It just took a minute to. Oh. Nobody's jumping on. Boo. Oh. And someone left, even. It's Sunday afternoon. oh hey, there are people. And it does indeed have a face. Not just a little dog or whatever else. I don't know what I want to put over on the left. Let's see. What? Oh. Thing. What do I even want to put here? Is this line wrap? Properties. Word wrap. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what I want to put over there, like how I want it to look. I'm trying to even just put some text over there that says, what do I even want to put here? And that's being hard. Chat log mode? Let's see, how about that? No. Properties. There. Yeah, well, logo of the keyboard being built. Okay, I like that. So let's grab a what am I looking for? Like a logo or a picture of it. Also, I can't get it to actually line wrap automatically. So like I stuff this over here and it just wants to scale the text. Well, I think for soldering, I can go ahead and not, like I can trim off the edge a little bit. The only reason I use the full width of it for soldering is because the camera I have is 1080p, or is 16:9. But the iPad display is not 16:9, so it fits nicely in here with a little sidebar. I could crop off the outside of the camera and be just fine with that, I think. Let's see. Properties, yeah, how do I... Outline? No, that's the actual text. Okay, I'm gonna move my phone / camera so that it's not directly in front of what I'm trying to look at, so I don't have to look around it. Text free type 2, yeah, that's wow, I can a scene inside of a scene. That's amazing. Okay, thing, properties. because hopefully I am streaming the audio off of my phone at the moment. My plan is to take my Snowball mic, which is easy to pull out of my setup. Take that upstairs, stick it on a tripod, sit it on my desk, plug it into my phone with USB, and then that streams to the OBS over the network. Okay, I don't know. We'll just grab this here. All audio. Or, well, because there, it just dropped out again. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let me try something. Yeah, the face cam hanging and the audio hanging is almost certainly the same thing. It's because the phone is the audio source right now, and it keeps dropping out. I think between not messing around with the Mac Mini and plugging it into now. But let me mess around. Because this, I really, like, I can't put the, unless I get a special wireless mic or something that'll work through the floor, I can't put the microphone input into the streaming box because it's going to be, it's in the basement and my iPad and me and the camera are going to be upstairs. So, but I think it seems better now. Like, I haven't seen haven't seen it drop out for a minute. And yeah, bad audio is the worst thing. There's like a Maslow's hierarchy of video needs, and audio. So hopefully no audio stutter and all of that. Maybe. Shrug. Still stuttering? Fuck. Okay. This might not work. Yeah, I think this will work out. Okay, that would have degraded the video quality, but hopefully made the... No, it's still choppy. Maybe not audio, but the video is choppy. And the problem is I don't know if it's network or if it's CPU on the phone. if it's CPU on the Mac Mini. Okay, but everything during the hand waving, this is all no problems right here? Because the video is choppy, and that makes me think that the audio is choppy, but who's... Fucking crashed. Okay. Let me kill the iPad stream. It's still choppy. I wonder if I can hook an Ethernet adapter up to my phone. Okay, screw it. This experiment is I mean, I'm not against having a cheap, shitty Android phone that I use solely as a camera. So... Okay, now you should be able to hear me coming from a different microphone. I'm pretty sure I can't use the iPad camera at the same time as I'm using the camera because the software I'm using to put the iPhone camera on to my computer has to be in the foreground to work. Like, unless I do some other weird video conferencing thing. It'd be nice to be able to do that, to have the iPad camera and like plug a microphone into it and stream directly from the iPad. But I don't think that's going to happen, sadly. Yeah, I switched to using my normal microphone at my desk, or at my at the Mac. So it's wired directly via USB. The volume and stuff might not have been so great because of the balance with the music, and also it's a little further away because I'm not standing directly in front of it like I usually am, but I just moved it to see if that would help. Oh, and this is... Yeah, so the audio should be mostly as good as normal, or as bad as normal, depending on how the normally sounds. Yeah, I'm not worried about those two, but the main thing I wanted to try to get out of this is a setup that I can take with me and not have to be in the basement here. Because like if I want to use this setup for face cam in the basement, I'll just plug my iPhone into the computer because it can do USB streaming and that works just fine. But I wanted to untether myself from the computer, so that, because this is it's just a basement, and like I can put a chair down here and maybe make my desk a little nicer down here, but I'd rather sit upstairs in the air conditioning with a nicer desk and stuff like that. You know, it's just it's an experiment. Okay, volume name is too short. Okay. Well, I bought an adapter that I can plug my desk mic into my phone with, hopefully. So it at least would be using that microphone. Okay. Whoops. Wait, did I just... I did, didn't I? Yes, I am using the terminal on the iPad. It's the Blink app. This is the one that I've messed around with the most, or when I was looking for a good terminal, this is the one I liked the best. This is a, I don't know if a beta is the right term, but I use test flight to make sure I get like the latest builds, because I ran into some issues with 24-bit color and some other things with one of the older builds, or with the App Store build. So they put me on the test flight thing just so I could use it. It's pretty awesome stuff. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that. Install and update Zephyr Workspace. So West init-L app. And what's really ironic, maybe not ironic, but what's kind of funny about this is the machine I'm SSH'd into to do this stuff with is actually the machine that's doing the streaming. So and I'm sitting right in front of it, like I've got a monitor, so I could just do this all from there. The problem is I've got 2 desks, right? That's why do I have 2 desks? So what's almost certainly going to end up happening is I'm going to retool my desk down here a little bit, and just move to doing this stuff down here. Plus, I can't do everything on the iPad. I want to do some, KiCad doesn't work on the iPad. I can do some 3D modeling stuff on the iPad, but it's probably going to be a better experience just to do it on a desktop. So it's either that or I'm going to buy another Mac Mini, but I really don't want to buy another Mac Mini. And my MacBook Air is just not powerful enough to do all this stuff. It's the latest Intel one, so it's not even the M1. Yeah. Okay. West updates. But the software I'm using to capture the iPad is really cool. It's called Reflector 4, and it basically sets up my Mac Mini as an AirPlay target, or it sets up the Mac Mini as an AirPlay target, but I'm pretty sure I can stream multiple AirPlay streams to it at once, so I could do it from my phone too and actually capture that, and it just captures it all into a window. And then I'm using window capture in OBS to capture that window into OBS and composite it into the video that goes into the stream. It's really cool stuff. It was like $20, but that's, I pay for good software, so. Yeah, if nothing else, this experiment to try to use my iPad for everything is, like I'm bumping up against problems, but I'm finding those problems and trying to find solutions to those problems. So, but really the biggest problem I have right now is that some limitation in my streaming infrastructure at the moment is not allowing my phone to be used as both a video source and an audio source to stream to using OBS. And I'm wondering if that might be OBS somehow. Because I have it muted, I have the phone muted in OBS, the capture, the device. And video seems to be fine now. Like it's not choppy. It's something with mixing the audio, pulling the audio out of there. I don't get it. Whatever. Yeah, and I don't know what I don't know how they're gonna do it, because what it might just be is I AirPlay to my Mac and it takes over whatever is on the display on my Mac, which is actually just fine. I'd love to be able to have my Mac connected to, like, say, have a Mac Mini connected to my desk and my monitor and stuff, grab my work laptop and just click a button, and now my Mac Mini is a mirrored, or it's using that display as the primary display without cables or anything like that. It's not that big of a deal because my commute previously was to move my micro USB cable or the USB-C cable from my between computers, because I had everything plugged that I needed to plugged into the monitor. But you know, it's fine. It'd be really cool if it had some sort of let's see, if it had some sort of, like, you can capture it to a window like that. So, but even if it does, and this, you know, this software is now effectively obsolete for me, it's, I think, still worth the $20 to just have as a tool. And maybe they'll come up with more things to do with it in the future, so we'll see. But it is really pretty neat. It's just the window. My iPad shows up as a window on my desktop computer, and it's pretty low latency. Like, I caught myself for a minute there actually looking at the window on the desktop, which is right behind the phone here, while I was typing instead of down at the iPad, because it was good enough to type with, and it's bigger. So I kind of wish I had another phone that I could take a picture with, because I would take a picture of what the setup looks like right now, and it's kind of hilarious because I've got the iPad in front of me, the phone on a tripod up behind that, and then behind that is my Thunderbolt display with my computer on it. I do suspect that the problem is either Wi-Fi or the phone, but that doesn't explain why the video doesn't seem to be causing problems now. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna work on getting my desk down here to be a usable space. Maybe move my portable air conditioner down here, bust a hole in the window so I can pipe it out. One thing I am going to use this for, though, is I guess you can kind of see. So my phone was like right here behind the iPad, But one thing I'm going to use this for soon, this like mobile camera thing, is I'm going to have a fixed shot of kind of the corner where my 3D printer is going to be. And then I'm going to have my phone available to use as a mobile camera. So my basement is a mess right now, sorry. But that's where the printer is going to go. So there's going to be a shot from like, and again, my basement's a mess. There's going to be a shot from like back here or maybe up here. And then I'm going to have this that I can grab and like put in place for, you know, if I'm doing something detailed. So that's how I'm going to do my 3D printer build stream. Yeah, I really, the basement sold this place to me, for sure. Because I was in a place that was, before this I was in a one bedroom that was a little smaller than this. And it was fine, I liked it. It was a little too small, but it was fine. Like, it was definitely usable. And I had a little storage space in the basement of the building there, but there was no power, there was no light, there was nothing. I was asking them if they had like a bigger space that maybe did have power, because I wanted a workshop, you know, I want to have my space and I want to have a workshop. And they didn't have it. They were like, no, we can't. And I was like, okay, all right. And then I was walking around over there and saw this condo up for sale. Not this one, but saw a condo up for sale. And I was like, wow, I thought it would be a lot more expensive than that. I'm going to look into that. Sadly, that condo was already under contract and was not available to make an offer on. But I was then, it bit me. I got the bug. And so I started looking around and I found this place. And I saw the basement and I was like, oh, perfect. And it's a little bigger. It's not huge, but it's a little bigger. It's got a nicer kitchen. I've got a little separate dining room. The living room is bigger. The bedroom doesn't feel so cramped, because the place I was in before, the bedroom was like just barely bigger than my giant bed. Whereas the bed is, you know, there's plenty of room in there for the bed. But the basement really sold it to me because I was like, hey, I'm going to have a workshop down there. And now I finally have a workshop down here. So as far as what printer I got, I have a Sidewinder X1. It's an FDM printer. And like I was going to get the Ender 3. But I was talking to some people on the PDX Keyboard Club, and they're like, go with the Sidewinder because it already comes with all the upgrades you would want to get for the Ender 3, and it's not that much more than like getting the Ender 3 and all the upgrades for it, and then it's also bigger. So I was like, okay, cool. I went with that. I've watched some videos on it now, and like I have a pretty decent-ish idea of how to put it together. What the moving parts are. Already have a couple of ideas for things I might want to upgrade at some point. Either because the stock ones are kind of crappy or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to have some fun with it. Should be nifty. Alright, we're still waiting for all of this stuff. And it was like $300 cheaper than going with the so everyone always, I feel like everyone says like get one of two printers. You get the Ender Pro or the there's one that's like turnkey practically. And that thing's like $700. And sure, it's turnkey and whatnot, but in some ways, I'm just from watching the videos on how to set it up and some things people were talking about with me about why to get this over the Ender 3. I feel like I've already learned more from doing that than just buying a like turnkey printer, such that like if I'm like, yeah, the Prusa, that's it. That if I hear like, or that if I feel like I want to upgrade something, I know what the moving parts are now. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, so this extruder and this and blah, blah, blah. So I'll be able to look online and see people talking about stuff and kind of understand a little what they're talking about instead of just being like, I don't know, I've got a black box that prints parts. So. I'm kind of surprised nobody commented on the fact that I have 2 exercise machines down here that are just collecting dust. It's like, oh hey, it looks like you're getting good use out of that what the hell is it? Rowing machine and the elliptical thing that I have. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's like background noise with the mic. I don't know what it is. I wonder if that's my air conditioner upstairs. There. Hopefully if there was any background hum or anything, that's now gone. I've only ever used the GitHub Actions. This is entirely brand new to me, what I'm doing. So the reason I want to do this, or there are a couple reasons I want to do this. One, because I want to be able to manually build locally. Because the iteration cycle is faster and whatnot. And also then like I can hack on ZMK a little bit. But more importantly, I want to hack on ZMK a bit. So I have a handful of these things. Let me see if I can get it to focus. No, whatever. No, that's locking. No, there. So I've got a couple of these. Can I hide and get it to focus? Can I tap and get it to focus? Whatever. On a normal stream, I would show this under the solder cam. Although, now that I think of it, during a coding stream, this would be my... So I'll have to figure that out. But I've got these little touch pads that this particular one actually fits very nicely where the Zaphod screen is. And there's been talk about like people going like, oh, hey, it'd be awesome to have a touchpad there. And the footprint here is kind of meant for like, or kind of designed around like people hacking making custom modules or something like that. So there's like, yeah, if I can get this working, great. I would really love to have a touch point or some sort of mouse input device built into my keyboard to use my iPad. Because selecting text and highlighting text on the iPad is a horrible, god-awful, terrible disaster of an experience. And it's gotten a lot better, but it still sucks. But with a little touchpad or even a mouse, like I plug this in, it works just fine. So if I can just throw one of these on my keyboard and now I have a little touchpad if I need to, great. Because most of the time I use I touch the screen and stuff like that. So it doesn't need to be multi-touch. I don't need to be able to scroll with my fingers, that sort of thing. I've even gotten to the point where if I'm using a desktop computer or my laptop, I'll catch myself reaching up to scroll or do something on the display instead of using the mouse. So I've already broken that habit of like, you know, I do everything with the keyboard and touch the screen, right? Or I've already built that habit. But having this to be able to select text, especially since, you know, selecting text is a very common thing for someone writing software, either copy pasting from a terminal or a text, you know, whatever. Like there's just always copy pasting going on. And thank you. Yes, my nails. I am debating whether I want to get them done before my dad arrives or wait until after he leaves. They're starting to grow out, like you can see the nail beds down in the bottom. So it's probably better to do before, but I don't know. And I don't think he's going to be down for going to get mani-pedis. That's not his speed. He'll probably look at me like, what the fuck are you doing with these painted nails? Okay. Cool. So now, so one of the things I wanted to do with this is like I look at, whoops. So I look at these mounts here and I'm like, I don't know how any of this works because this is for this configuration file here is for VS Code. I don't use VS Code. It's not that I don't like it or anything, like I've tried, but I just don't use VS Code. I use Emacs with the Doom distribution. So I don't know what any of this stuff really means other than like obviously these are mapping to Docker volumes, but like where's this workspace dir coming from? And I think that's like it takes the root of the project directory and mounts it inside as workspace. But then like what are all these other mounts for? Are those other projects, other workspaces? And I think no. I think that was all done just now. So like if I look in the workspace directory here, oh, and this would be so great actually if no, my other pointer is upstairs. So can I touch here? Whatever. If you look over here, it created that modules tools Zephyr directory, which are Zephyr modules tools. And then this is ZMK config. So I'm guessing he like has a ZMK config copied in there or something like that. But that's your like your config directory for your keyboard or something. So those are all the workspace folders. But the reason they're set up in here as volumes is because they're set up as Docker volumes. And I think it's because if I exit out of this container right now, all that compilation and all that stuff that I just spent like 10 minutes waiting for is gone. It's just going to throw it away. But if I had set it up as containers or set up as separate volumes, that would persist and I can delete them later if I wanted to reset it or something like that. So that's what's going on there, I think, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, so then like it would have make their CMK config, and that's where the thing would be. Okay. Westinit-L app, West update. If you're using Docker, you're done with setup. You must restart the container. I don't know why I have to restart the container, but okay. Building and flashing. So then here it's like, you go into the app directory. Okay, let's see. Oh, copy. But I want to do not Proton C. I want to do oops. Yeah, I do intend to put together a blog post or something, maybe even a repo that makes this real easy to do, for folks who are like me and aren't using VS Code. And I've done a lot with Docker and stuff like that before. I'm a DevOps person by trade, so this is like, oh, it's Docker, great. I hope, I'm glad that it's a Docker container, because that means I have my dependencies and all that stuff nicely contained in this little box. I don't have it crapping all over my system with weird Python versions and virtual enums and just rando crap. And actually, what I'm looking for is... Am I on the nice keyboards? I'm not. Discord. Looking out in schematic. ZMK is updated and ready to go for V2 by building on Nice Nano V2. Let's see if this works. I'm really bummed that the iPhone microphone thing didn't work out. I think it'll be fine as a face cam, but I'm probably going to use my old phone as that, because the face cam is so small up in the corner, it doesn't really, the quality isn't as big of a deal. And then I'm not like using my actual phone that I use all the time as the camera. Ultimately, I would end up with a better normal camera. This being my face cam, it's just a webcam. This is what I currently use as my main camera. But I'm not sure what camera I want to get for a new main cam. And I don't know if I want to do that right now anyways. It's a lot of money. It's probably going to be like $1,000 on the body and glass. Because my friend is like, don't skimp on glass. Don't ever skimp on glass. Hello, Linux Fish. You didn't miss anything. I was screwing around with audio and stuff like that, and now I'm just working on getting ZMK to build. And wow, this is insanely slow. Well, the face camera is just the front-facing camera on my phone. Streamed over wireless to my computer. I should plug it in. I'm actually just using my iPad as a terminal to my Mac Mini. So I'm not technically building it on my iPad, but I am building it using the iPad as the primary pretty terminal. My goal was to make it so I was doing this upstairs at my desk instead of down in the basement here. But had some issues with streaming the video from the phone and audio from the phone at the same time. So there's part of me that wants to try to get like a wireless lav mic or something and just plug that in down here and have the mic upstairs and then still use the camera, because that wouldn't probably be too hard to do and it'd probably work fine, but I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Mac Mini build box or something. Like it's certainly a better thing to SSH into than either of the Raspberry Pis that I have, because I love them. They work really well, but my M1 Mac Mini has just a little more CPU horsepower. Yeah, really my biggest worry about buying a camera is just how long I'll be using it. Because if all goes well, or as I joke sometimes, if all doesn't go well, I will be going to Japan in a year and basically getting rid of everything I own. So spending $1,000 on a camera for the next year, do I really want to do that? And I damn sure I'm not taking it with me on the trail. That's way too much. That's a lot of weight. A lot of weight, a lot of bulk, and a lot of like, this is gonna get broken when I fall the first time. There is a possibility of cat cam, because Bean is usually in one place and Jimmy is usually in another place, but that would require, like, I need some people to donate some mostly dead cell phones or something like that, because I want to, I'd need a bunch of individual cameras around the place. Well, I can do the filming about Japan with my phone and not have to worry about carrying around it wouldn't be a DSLR, it'd be like a Micro Four Thirds. It'd be some sort of mirrorless, just because smaller and lighter. But yeah, and you know what they say, the best photo or the best camera is the one in your hand, and my phone is always with me and it's always in my hand. So, like, sure, maybe I could get slightly better pictures, but that's not the main purpose of my trip anyways. So I don't know. We'll see. Did I accidentally? Nope, this is on Hamilton. I thought for a second, I was like, did I accidentally connect to my Raspberry Pi to do this? But no, over in the corner, the lower right down here, you can see Hamilton. That's the name of my Mac Mini. Named after Hamilton Hut in New Zealand. And go away. Stop. There. Okay. All of Japan. So my plan is to start at the northernmost point of Japan and walk south until I reach the southernmost point in Japan. It's gonna take a long time. I'm guessing it'll take me about a year to do it. But as you can see, I've got the backpack already. That has 9 days on the trail in Japan already on it. 52 days in New Zealand on the trail. So it's got some things. Naming scheme for devices, I've gone through a bunch of them and they just change basically every time I name a new device. And right now they're kind of like New Zealand huts. So my new Raspberry Pi that I just set up for my desk, basically so I can flash keyboards. That's really all I have it there for. That's called Pakatui, which is named after Pakatui Hut in New Zealand, which is the first hut northbound from Lake Hiawatha Lodge. It's of particular note to me because the climb to get up to it was brutal. And I got there and I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. And it was like noon and I was like, I'm done. I accomplished my task today of getting here. I'm done. I took a nap. It was great. Yeah. The Tokaido Trail, or Tokaido, yes. So, when I was in Japan in 2017 walking a trail there, I was on the Tokai Nature Trail, which kind of follows the Tokaido Trail, or the Tokaido route. Yeah, it looks like a 360K firmware image. That's like the Tokaido route through Japan. I don't know if I'm going to follow that on this trip because there's the Nakasendo Way, which is like the north side of the island from there. Because like at that point, Japan kind of curves down and does one of these things. Or if you're looking at it mirrored, it curves down and does one of these things. And the Tokaido Trail is along the southern part. And the Nakasendo is on the north, but I think the Nakasendo is more of a road route than a walking path or walking route, whereas the Tokaido Trail is extraordinarily well signed. I've done part of it already. Like it's walking path. It's not all dirt or anything like that, but it's very pretty, very nice. So, yeah, I do love Japan. On that trip, I discovered that rural Japan is where to go if you want to experience Japan. Tokyo is awesome, cool city, but I feel like most of what I was doing was going to a train station, getting out and looking and being like, this is just like the place I left. And going to another place and being like, this is just like the place I left. There wasn't a lot of variety. Now, I'm sure someone is like, oh no, like you've got to blah, 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 blah. But I felt like it was just everything was kind of the same. They all had the same amenities. There's good food everywhere. But then like you go through rural Japan and I stumbled across this festival in the middle of nowhere. It was in a little village, but the village felt very kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I had come off of the trail down to a town and was going back up to go to the next portion of the trail. And there's this little festival going on, and there's the fire department had a stall set up where you could buy yakitori, the chicken skewers. there was a mochi making demonstration going on. I went over there and started filming it, and someone was like, whoa, wait. And they took my camera from me and handed me the mallet to make mochi with. And took pictures of me making mochi. And, like, then gave me some of it. I was like, this is amazing. So, well, Japan has there's some goat thing. That Japanese Sero? No, that's not it. There's like Kamoshika. No, I don't think that's it either. Japan mythical creature animal. Goat. Maybe it is the Sero. I thought it was more like stand-up goat kind of thing. But they're supposed to be like, look out for them. When I was there, I didn't notice any common birds or anything. There are places along, I think the Tokai Nature Trail, where you go through monkey country. There are bears. Fortunately, I didn't see any of those, but there are signs from time to time that say, like, you know, that have a little bear on them. So it is black bear country, but from what I've heard, they're very skittish anyways. As long as they hear you coming, they'll just run off, like, do normal bear things, don't leave food out. But it's not like a grizzly where you need to go with a gun and bear spray and stuff, because if you find one, you're gonna have to fight it. And you want to be well armed. Japan does have lots of mascots though, so I wonder actually if there's a mascot, Tokai Nature Trail mascot. I doubt it, because the Tokai Nature Trail, despite being extraordinarily well signed, extraordinarily well built, and all this stuff, nobody knows anything about it. Like, I asked someone at a tourist information center, and they had no idea until I showed them like a picture of one of the signs, and then it like occurred to them, oh, we've got like a map for that. But they had 2 copies of this map. I didn't realize they had a second copy. Like, I've been looking for a map like this. I took a bunch of pictures of it because I was like, oh man, this is finally, I know where the trail actually goes. You know, like with a little more detail than this map that's on the screen here. And then they were like, oh, here, you can have this copy. And it's like they just handed me the most precious thing that anyone could ever hand me. Because they had a second copy of it, but they had to like dig it out of a drawer in some binder, like archive kind of thing. It's weird, and it's for this trail that's like 3,000 miles long, or 1,000 miles long, and there's signs every easily 500 feet along the trail for like, you're on the Tokai Nature Trail. This is how far to the next intersection and stuff. Like, it's crazy. So anyways, yeah, so back to the CMK. It does look like it's a 360k firmware, but remember that the Nice Nano has like, what, a megabyte of flash or something like that. So 360k, there's tons of room left. And also this has a full Bluetooth stack and a bunch of other stuff. Like, it's just a much more complicated thing. So let me see if I can change this. Whoops, I did it again, didn't I? Oh yeah, you get me talking about Japan and New Zealand, you might as well just... No, I took the example from the ZMK website, West Build, this one here, and just did Curia left just to see, because I'm like, okay, well, here's a proof of concept that this works. What I'm probably going to try to do now is I have my new Reviung 41 with Chalk V2 switches, but it's got a nice Nano V2 in it. I wish I could figure out the autofocus on this. But it's got a nice Nano V2 on it. So I'll probably try to build that next, but that's going to take a little bit of doing because I have to figure out how to get my ZMK config directory to mount inside of there and stuff. So yeah, and plus I have to now, since I'm redoing the container, to add a different mount to it, that's going to blow away all the like prep stuff that it did when I first built this. So like all the volumes that this has, those are all like it downloads stuff, and I just deleted all of that. So I've got to I've got to Docker create some volumes here and then do this. But instead of doing Docker create volumes, I think I'm going to do it as a Docker compose file, because then it's repeatable, and I just do Docker compose up, and then I can like exec into the container or something. I don't remember exactly how to do like a Docker compose that has that's like a shell. There's no... Ah, damn it. Okay. I keep accidentally hitting Command W, and I don't know why. But Command W closes the tab. But fortunately... Whoops. It's in a tmux, so... oh, because I was trying to hit Control W to... That's it. Run help. Okay. So I'm going to go back here to Emacs, and we're going to... space tab N. Whoops. See you, Cien. Thanks for stopping by on this totally ad hoc. This isn't what I meant to do with this stream. So what I want to do here is I want to open, whoops, space op docker compose.yaml, and then is that not? Oh. Oh, something's happened. There's a key stuck down. Or something. Okay. So I want volumes. We want okay, so services, but I don't necessarily want a service. Docker compose shell service. And I guess I can just do services shell command bash then okay, an image would be CMK foobar. Yeah. So then oh, okay, you can do that. Well, I had Do Not Disturb on. Okay. Seem right? Oh, damn, I already killed my container. Yes, I know there's workspace and workspaces, but I'm trying to match what I think the container workspace folder is supposed to be. CMK, because there's, yeah, CMK Zephyr modules, colon, workspace modules, CMK, okay. Containers does not match any of the regexes. Okay. Oh. Need volume. Okay, so can I do Docker compose run IT shell bash? Okay, Docker compose. No. Oh, wait. So what I'm trying to do with this is I just want to execute a shell in a container that has all the volumes and stuff already mounted. So I need to define a service that is something so that I can exec into it. But I don't want to just have it like, you know, the command be sleep 10,000 or 100, you know, something like that. That would work. But I feel like there's a more elegant way to do that. But I think I'm going to punt on that elegance. Now that didn't work. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it for today. This ended up being way different of a stream than I wanted it to start as, but at least like got to kind of soft debut the new artwork. I got play around face cam and audio stuff. Gonna mess around. I need to, before I do more streaming, I want to put together a template like this for and scenes and stuff like this for the actual solder cam stuff instead of desktop cam. And I think before I do the 3D printer stream, I want to redo my desk down here so that I can use it as a desk and as a workbench. And I think that won't take too long to do, but it's gonna just involve like unplugging a bunch of stuff, sliding my entire build mat over, and then plugging the stuff back in on the other side of it. Because right now the build mat's right in the middle of the desk, doesn't leave a lot of room on either end, or it's like you're kind of stuffed on either end. But if I slide the build mat over to one side, I can Well, here, I can even show you. What am I talking about? So it's right in the middle of all this. If I slide the build mat over to here, I can move the monitor and all that to over here and actually sit at this desk. I would move it to the right and sit on the left end so I don't have to move the computer, except this floor isn't level. It has a drain, so there's a slope that gets a little steeper as it gets closer to the drain, which is basically right under my feet right now. So I want to move it to the other side, and then I'll be able to just use this as a workstation. Also, I will bring my really, really nice monitor down here, because this is just my old Thunderbolt display from when I was working for Stripe. They, basically gave me one because we had a Portland office for a little bit, and they closed the Portland office, and they were like, hey, so we've got a bunch of equipment there that we're not going to try to ship back. If you want any of it, go grab it. So I grabbed a monitor. Anyways, I think I'm going to call it here for now. This has been fun. Thanks y'all for hanging out and dealing with audio issues early on. I'm very, very bummed that I wasn't able to get the phone camera stuff working with audio, because it'd be nice to not have to mess around too much and just be able to sit upstairs at my desk. But in some ways I kind of want to get rid of the desk upstairs, because if I get rid of the desk upstairs, then because it's in my dining room, then I have my dining room back, and that would be really nice to have a dining room that I could actually sit at and have chairs and people over. So then there's the matter of what do I do with that desk? But that's a different issue. I can deal with that later. So maybe I'll put that over where the 3D printer is and put the printer on top of that. But anyways, yeah. Thanks y'all for hanging out. Have a good one. If anybody's still left. And I'll see you probably tomorrow on stream, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow, but we'll see. Have a good rest of your weekend, everyone. Bye.